Have you ever wondered how your daily habits change the miraculous organ in your head, your brain? It's no coincidence that you've been led here. The universe has guided you to this moment to give you a deeper insight into the incredible power of your own mind. Your brain is far more than a static organ that simply processes information. It is a dynamic and malleable tool that is constantly changing and adapting. This amazing ability is called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, break old patterns, and regenerate itself. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a pioneer in the world of neuroscience and consciousness research, has worked intensively on how we can not only understand our brain, but also consciously shape it. His work impressively demonstrates that the brain is not doomed to deteriorate with age or to retain entrenched patterns. On the contrary, we all have the power to reprogram our brain, to improve it, heal it, and raise it to a higher level of consciousness. However, just as we can shape and heal our brains through positive habits, certain habits can damage the brain. You may not have consciously thought about it, but every day, with every thought and action, you are reweaving the structure of your brain. Habits that we consider harmless can be destructive to our mental clarity, our emotional stability, and our ability to learn and grow in the long run. It's important to understand that your brain is like soft clay, malleable, sensitive, and ready to be molded in the way you influence it. But when negative or harmful habits take over, they can leave deep marks. Stress, multitasking, and lack of sleep are just some of these harmful influences that can affect the structure of your brain. Let's dive into this fascinating journey together as we discover the powers of your brain and expose the habits that are secretly damaging it. It's the beginning of a transformation where you realign your brain and use it in the best possible way to consciously shape your life. Now that we've outlined the basics of neuroplasticity and the role that habits play in your brain's life, let's move on to the first habits that can damage your brain. Next, we'll look at how chronic stress attacks your brain and slowly unbalances you. Prepare yourself to expose the dark effects of stress and find new ways to keep your brain in harmony. Chronic stress is a silent, invisible enemy that slowly creeps through the cracks of our daily lives without us realizing its full power. But while it goes unnoticed, it leaves deep traces in our brain and seriously affects its structure and function. Stress is not just a temporary feeling of tension, but a condition that causes significant long-term damage when it becomes chronic. One of the biggest victims of chronic stress in the brain is the hippocampus, the center for memory and learning processes. Chronic stress leads to permanently elevated cortisol levels in the body. This stress hormone has the task of putting the body on alert, but if it remains constant over long periods of time, it begins to damage the hippocampus. The hippocampus actually shrinks, which impairs your ability to store new information and recall memories. What was once clear and accessible begins to become foggy and feels inaccessible. Another critical area that suffers under the pressure of chronic stress is the prefrontal cortex, the center of your decision-making and impulse control. This part of the brain helps you to make rational decisions, solve problems, and make plans. But if it is constantly under the influence of cortisol, it loses its efficiency. You become more prone to impulsive behavior, your ability to make clear decisions diminishes, and the thought of overcoming complex challenges overwhelms you. In everyday life, this stress often takes on forms that we consider normal. Daily work, the incessant flood of emails, constant accessibility through social media, it all accumulates like invisible ballast. You may not even realize how much your brain is suffering from this pressure because it has become a habit to live in a constant state of tension. But this is where the danger lies. When stress becomes the norm, you don't realize the creeping damage until it manifests itself. However, there are ways to break this chronic state and give your brain the rest it so desperately needs. One of the most effective methods is meditation. By taking time each day to go into silence and observe your breath, you put your body into a state of relaxation. Your brain has the chance to recover from the effects of stress, cortisol levels drop, and the hippocampus can slowly regenerate. Another powerful technique is conscious breathing. Deep, slow breathing activates the parasympathetic part of your nervous system, which is responsible for relaxing and regenerating the body. By practicing simple breathing exercises such as the 4-7-8 technique, you can break the cycle of stress and give your brain the break it so desperately needs. Finally, mindfulness is a wonderful companion on this journey. Mindfulness means being present in the moment and freeing your mind from the endless spiraling thoughts of stress. It is an invitation to calm your thoughts and experience the present moment without drifting off into the future or the past. Chronic stress may be a powerful enemy, but with the right tools you can put it in its place. Your brain is capable of regenerating and healing, it just needs the right care and space to get back into balance. Next, let's debunk another harmful habit, multitasking. Let's explore how this seemingly productive habit can actually sabotage your concentration and memory. Prepare yourself to understand the true nature of multitasking and learn how to refocus on what's important. Your brain is a marvel, designed to do deep, focused work, solve complex problems and bring creative thoughts into reality. But in the modern world, where distractions are ubiquitous, multitasking has crept into the lives of many, even though the brain is not actually designed to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. What appears to be an efficiency booster actually turns out to be one of the most damaging habits for your brain. Multitasking fools you into thinking you're more productive when you're doing several things at once. But in reality, your brain doesn't multitask, it constantly jumps back and forth between tasks, a process known as task switching. The frequent switching between tasks may seem harmless, but it takes an enormous amount of energy from your brain. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain has to refocus, reorientate and reprocess the relevant information. This constant switching not only slows you down, but also exhausts your brain, leading to mental fatigue and stress. The negative effects of multitasking on your ability to concentrate are profound. When you try to do many things at once, your ability to really engage with a task and process it in depth decreases. Instead of achieving clarity and precision, you get lost in a jumble of constant interruptions that rob you of the ability to stay focused in the long term. Your brain is forced into a kind of shallow mode in which it struggles to perform deep cognitive processes, which also impairs your long-term memory in the long term. Information that you only process superficially doesn't stick, it disappears as quickly as it came. Multitasking not only reduces your focus, it also destroys the depth with which you could approach tasks. Instead of diving into the so-called flow state where your brain works in a seamless, creative and productive way, you're constantly jumping out of that depth, unable to reap the benefits of that deep focus. The result? You feel more stressed, make more mistakes and feel like you haven't really accomplished anything. But there are ways to bring your brain back to its natural state of deep concentration and overcome the negative effects of multitasking. One of the most effective methods is the Pomodoro technique. This technique consists of working uninterruptedly on a task in blocks of 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This trains your brain to get back into a state of deep work while giving it the rest it needs. Another valuable technique is digital detox. Constant accessibility through smartphones, emails, and social media is a major contributor to multitasking. By taking deliberate breaks from digital devices and scheduling specific periods of time during the day when you are offline, you give your brain the opportunity to focus on one thing at a time while finding the mental calm it needs to work efficiently. Multitasking may feel like an answer to the increasing demands of our time, but in truth it takes us away from the essence of our abilities, the ability to work with focus, depth, and creativity. By leaving multitasking behind and focusing on one task at a time, you not only strengthen your brain but also increase your productivity, well-being, and happiness. Now that we've exposed the true nature of multitasking, let's move on to another harmful habit that can slowly destroy your brain: lack of sleep. Let's explore why sleep is so essential for your brain and how you can protect it to unlock your full mental potential. Sleep is the magical gateway to renewal, giving us the opportunity each night to cleanse the mind, regenerate the brain, and reorganize the emotions. Yet in the modern world, where sleep is often seen as a luxury rather than a necessity, we all too often neglect this vital source of rest. However, lack of sleep has profound effects on our brains that we cannot ignore, effects that go far beyond simple tiredness. While you sleep, your brain goes through a complex series of processes that are essential to its health and function. One of the most important processes is memory consolidation. Your brain stores information and experiences gathered during the day and organizes them while you sleep. It's like a diligent librarian cataloging and filing the impressions and memories of the day in your head so that you can access them later. So sleep is not only the time when you physically recover, but also the phase in which your brain consolidates important connections and strengthens your long-term memory. In addition, sleep is crucial for detoxifying the brain. While you sleep, the glymphatic system activates, a cleansing system that removes waste products and harmful proteins that have accumulated in the brain during the day. This cleansing work is essential to keep brain cells healthy and minimize the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and dementia. If you regularly get too little sleep, these waste products disrupt neuronal communication and increase the risk of cognitive disorders. The effects of chronic sleep deprivation are therefore profound. Studies have shown that people who sleep too little over long periods of time have a significantly higher risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. But that's not all. Lack of sleep affects your emotional stability, as the brain has difficulty processing emotional stimuli properly. This leads to increased irritability, increased susceptibility to stress, and a general feeling of being overwhelmed. The ability to concentrate also suffers massively, as the brain is not sufficiently regenerated to work efficiently and clearly during waking hours. Fortunately, there are simple but effective steps you can take to improve your sleep quality and give your brain the nightly rest it so desperately needs. One of the most basic strategies is to improve your sleep hygiene. This means creating an environment and routine that promotes restful sleep. This includes making your bedroom as dark, quiet, and cool as possible. Invest in a comfortable mattress and bed linen that relaxes you and optimally supports your body. Regular bedtimes are another key factor. Your body and brain love routine. If you go to bed and get up at the same time every day, your body develops a natural internal clock that helps you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. Even on weekends or days off, you should try to maintain this rhythm to ensure the best possible quality of sleep. An important measure that is often overlooked is avoiding screen time before bedtime. Using smartphones, tablets, or computers just before bedtime can significantly disrupt the sleep cycle, as the blue light from these devices inhibits the production of melatonin, the hormone that controls the sleep-wake cycle. Try to switch off screens at least an hour before bedtime and instead engage in relaxing activities such as reading, meditation, or a warm bath. Sleep deprivation is a silent danger that slowly creeps into our lives, but you have the power to change this. By taking conscious steps to protect and improve your sleep, you give your brain the opportunity to regenerate, detoxify, and function at an optimal level. Now that we understand the destructive effects of sleep deprivation, it's time to talk about the long-term changes these harmful habits can cause in your brain. Let's journey on together and explore the profound consequences of these habits. The effects of the harmful habits we've discussed so far, chronic stress, multitasking, and sleep deprivation, go far beyond what we feel in our daily lives in the short term. These habits lead to profound, long-term changes in the structure and function of your brain that can gradually manifest and have serious consequences for your memory, emotional stability, and overall brain performance. Chronic stress, which leads to elevated cortisol levels, can literally remodel the brain over time. The continuous flooding of stress hormones primarily damages the hippocampus, the center in the brain responsible for learning and memory consolidation. This means that the brain is no longer able to process and store new information effectively. The result is increasing forgetfulness and susceptibility to memory loss. Similarly, the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for decision-making and impulse control, is weakened. In the long term, this can lead to difficulties in making clear decisions, maintaining self-discipline, and thinking rationally, as the prefrontal cortex is literally used up. Multitasking further exacerbates these problems. It destroys your brain's ability to focus on a single task and dive deep into it. Over time, your brain is trained to think superficially and switch quickly, which permanently impairs your ability to understand complex relationships and stay focused for longer. The result is constant overload, frustration, and a deep inner restlessness because your brain can no longer engage with in-depth tasks. Your memory and ability to learn dwindle as information cannot be anchored in your long-term memory due to the constant loss of focus. Finally, lack of sleep acts like an insidious poison on the brain. The lack of sufficient deep sleep, during which important detoxification and regeneration processes take place, means that toxic proteins that accumulate in the brain during the day are not effectively removed. These accumulations increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's. Lack of sleep not only makes us more emotionally unstable and less focused, but also leads to a significant deterioration in cognitive abilities in the long term. But as overwhelming as these long-term consequences may seem, there is hope. Your brain's marvelous capacity for neuroplasticity makes it possible to reverse this damage and create new, healthier structures. Your brain has the ability to rewire and regenerate when you begin to make positive changes in your life. By consciously dealing with stress by practicing meditation, breathing techniques, and mindfulness, the hippocampus can regain size and functionality. Your prefrontal cortex can regain its ability to make rational decisions when you stop constantly overwhelming your brain and give it regular rest and recovery. By replacing multitasking with focus work and dividing your day into productive, focused blocks of time, you will boost the depth of your cognitive abilities. You can learn to get back into the flow and develop complex thoughts that will improve your memory and mental acuity in the long term. Sleep can also be stabilized again through consistent sleep hygiene, and your brain can recover from the damage caused by sleep deprivation. You will find that not only will your concentration and memory improve, but your emotional well-being will also be rebalanced. It's never too late to regain control of your brain and break these negative patterns. Your brain is able to heal itself if you give it the right conditions. The change starts with you. Next, we'll look at how you can implement these positive changes. Let's discover together what steps you can take to strengthen and protect your brain so that you not only restore your mental performance, but also live a deep, fulfilling life. You have the power to actively shape the future of your brain. By letting go of the harmful habits we've highlighted so far and integrating conscious, healthy habits into your life, you can allow your brain to flourish anew. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a master at exploring the intersection of consciousness and the brain and shows us ways to not only restore our mental health, but take it to a whole new level. Dr. Dispenza has proven through his research that our brains are not set in stone. On the contrary, thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain has the incredible ability to continuously change and adapt. Positive habits have the potential to create new neural connections and overwrite old, harmful patterns. By making conscious choices, you can rewire your brain and turn it into a powerful instrument of awareness and healing. One of its fundamental methods is meditation. Regular meditation practice allows you to calm your mind, dive deep within and synchronize your brain on a whole new level. As you meditate, you activate the higher layers of your brain and train it to enter a state of coherence, a state in which you are completely in the here and now, free from distractions and inner storms. This deep inner calm not only promotes your emotional balance, but also supports the creation of new neural connections that can positively change the way you think, feel, and act. Another powerful technique that Dr. Dispenza teaches is visualization. By repeatedly visualizing the best version of your life, how you feel, how you live, how you stand in the world, you train your brain to create this reality. The brain cannot distinguish between a real event and an intensely imagined experience. This method enables you to transform deeply ingrained beliefs and programs and offer your brain new, healthy connections that correspond to your highest self. In order to sustainably anchor these changes in your life, it is crucial to integrate conscious strategies into your everyday life that keep your brain healthy and vital. Regular breaks are of great importance, especially in times of intense work. By not overworking your brain and giving it regular rest periods, you give it the opportunity to regenerate and process information better. Breaks act like little islands of relaxation and boost your mental performance. Exercise is another crucial component for brain health. Even simple, regular physical activity promotes blood flow to the brain, increases the supply of oxygen and stimulates the formation of new neuronal connections. Exercise not only energizes your body, it also makes your brain blossom, it releases endorphins and boosts your emotional well-being. Regular exercise in nature, be it a walk in the woods or a jog in the park, is particularly beneficial. The fresh air and natural stimuli calm your nervous system and promote harmony between body and mind. The connection to nature plays a particularly important role. By spending time outdoors and surrounding yourself with nature, you harmonize your brain with the natural rhythms of the earth. Nature has a calming effect, reduces stress and helps to clear the mind. It reminds us that we are part of a greater whole and helps us to live in harmony with ourselves. It's about creating a conscious, mindful everyday life, one that nourishes your brain, fulfills you and supports you in your full power. You can start with small steps by integrating meditation and visualization techniques, taking regular breaks, moving and connecting with nature. These small steps will have a big impact on your brain and your overall quality of life. Now that you see a clear path ahead of you on how to heal your brain and take it to a new level of health and well-being, next we'll look at specific examples of how you can integrate these practices into your everyday life. Let's explore together how to let your brain blossom with conscious choices. Your brain is like a garden, it thrives when you give it regular care and shape its environment so that it can be in full bloom. The journey we have traveled together so far has revealed to you the deep connection between your daily habits and the health of your brain. Now it's time to put these insights into practice. Small changes in your daily routine can have a big impact and allow your brain to flourish. Start your day with a simple but powerful ritual, morning meditation. Before you dive into the hustle and bustle of everyday life, take 10 to 15 minutes to calm your mind and focus on the day ahead. Sit comfortably, close your eyes and focus on your breath. This quiet time helps you to find clarity and calm before you face the demands of the day. Your brain will be better able to cope with stress through this regular practice and begin to regenerate at a deeper level. Another key to a healthy brain is the ability to cultivate focus work. Instead of constantly throwing your attention back and forth between different tasks, practice focusing completely on one task at a time. The Pomodoro technique, where you work in focus for 25 minutes and then take a short break, is a great way to train your focus and de-stress your brain at the same time. Each of these breaks gives your brain a chance to recover before getting deeply involved in the next task. This focused work not only helps you to be more productive, but also strengthens your brain's ability to think more deeply and process information better. Exercise *** should also be a regular part of your day to promote brain health. Even a short session of 30 minutes of exercise, be it a walk, yoga or a run, can increase the oxygen supply to your brain and stimulate the release of endorphins. This physical activity supports the regeneration of neurons and improves your mood and cognitive function. Try to incorporate exercise into your daily routine, be it in the form of a morning walk or a short exercise break during your working hours. In addition to exercise, sleep also plays a crucial role in brain health. An evening relaxation ritual can work wonders here. Create a calm atmosphere by avoiding screens for an hour before going to bed. Instead, you can focus on relaxing activities, reading a book, taking a bath or practicing a calming breathing exercise. A ritual like this signals to your brain that it's time to wind down and helps you transition into a deep, restful sleep. By taking care of your sleep in this targeted way, you give your brain the opportunity to cleanse itself and regenerate optimally. Another powerful ritual that you can easily integrate into your day is the gratitude practice. By taking the time each evening to write down 3 things you are grateful for, you train your brain to focus on positive experiences and emotions. This simple practice not only strengthens your emotional well-being, but also positively influences your neuronal connections. Your brain is programmed for gratitude and joy, which strengthens your mental and emotional health in the long term. It's these small, conscious actions that, when practiced regularly, can make a profound difference. You don't have to turn your whole life upside down overnight. It's the small changes that have a big impact over time. By incorporating these simple routines into your daily life, you create an environment where your brain can thrive, full of clarity, calm and strength. Now that you are equipped with these concrete tools to strengthen and nurture your brain, let's move on to the deeper, spiritual aspects of consciousness transformation. Let's explore how Dr. Dispenza's approaches to consciousness transformation can elevate not only your brain, but your entire life to a new level. Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings open the door to a deep, transformative understanding of how your mind and brain are connected, and how by consciously changing your inner state, you can change your entire reality. Dr. Dispenza shows that your brain is not just a passive receiver of external impressions, but that it is actively involved in the creation of your reality. With every belief, every thought, and every feeling, you shape the neural networks of your brain and thus influence not only your perception, but also the world around you. Dr. Dispenza often says that the key to true transformation lies in recognizing and changing the old patterns that are deeply embedded in our brains. Many of these patterns are based on past experiences that keep us trapped in a cycle of negative thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. But these patterns are not permanent. Your brain is malleable. Through the power of neuroplasticity, you can dissolve these old, stuck networks and build new, positive connections. The first step on this path is to consciously realign your mind. One of the most fundamental methods that Dr. Dispenza teaches is meditation. Through meditation, you can enter a state of deep relaxation and inner clarity, where you not only calm your thoughts, but also reprogram your brain on a deeper level. Meditation is the space in which you have the opportunity to let go of old, destructive patterns and set new, positive intentions. When you focus on what you want to manifest in your life during meditation, be it health, abundance, love, or clarity, you give your brain permission to create new connections that support that reality. However, the process of conscious transformation goes even deeper. Dr. Dispenza teaches that you change the energy of your reality not only through thought, but more importantly through the experience of emotion. When you imagine what it feels like to already be living the life you want, and anchor that feeling throughout your body, you begin to emit a vibration that is in alignment with this new reality. Your brain and body cannot distinguish between a real and an intensely imagined experience. Through this practice of mental realignment, you attract the experiences you want into your life by feeling the emotions associated with your desired reality in the present moment. These teachings encourage you to begin each day with the intention of transforming your consciousness. Dr. Dispenza often speaks of thought being the seed, but emotion being the fertilizer that allows the new to sprout in your life. By focusing on your intentions in meditation and combining them with positive emotions such as gratitude, joy, and love, you create the basis for profound change. The transformative potential of this practice is enormous. People report healings, deep emotional breakthroughs, and the creation of new life circumstances far beyond what they previously thought possible. Dr. Dispenza's teachings provide you with the tools to not only reshape your brain, but also transform your life on a deeper, spiritual level. Now that you have learned these powerful approaches to consciousness transformation, it's time to bring it all together. In the final chapter, we will reflect on the essence of this journey and give you the tools to live a conscious, fulfilled life, with your brain as your most powerful ally. Your brain is a powerful tool that can enable you to live a life full of clarity, creativity, and emotional balance, but only if you consciously choose to nurture and nourish it. The journey we've been on has uncovered the destructive effects of chronic stress, multitasking, and sleep deprivation, and how these habits can damage the structure and function of your brain. We've learned that chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus, multitasking undermines your ability to think deeply, and lack of sleep hinders your brain's regeneration. But these harmful patterns don't have to be your destiny. You have a choice. In every moment of your life, you have the power to choose new, positive habits that strengthen your brain instead of weakening it. The path to healing and transformation is in your hands. By making conscious choices, you can break the cycle of harmful habits and create the conditions your brain needs to function at a higher level. Encourage yourself to take active steps every day to nurture your brain. Start with regular meditation to bring your brain into a state of deep calm and coherence. Focus your attention on one task at a time and say goodbye to destructive multitasking. Give your brain the restful sleep it so desperately needs to regenerate and process the impressions of the day. You'll be surprised how much clearer, more creative, and more balanced you become when you integrate these habits into your life. The power of thought that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about lies within each of us. You can heal your brain and use it to transform your life. Your thoughts shape the neural networks in your brain and create the reality you experience. By cultivating positive thoughts and combining them with strong emotions, you can realign your brain in the best possible way and realize your full potential. The choice is yours. Choose to see your brain as your most valuable asset, and nurture it with dedication. The change may not happen overnight, but with every conscious decision you make, with every positive habit you establish, you get closer to the goal of a healthy, efficient, and happy brain. Your brain is ready to transform. The question is, are you? It's time to harness the power of your thoughts to heal and strengthen your brain and take your life in a new direction. The tools are in front of you, the choice is yours. Now that you are equipped with this knowledge, I invite you to take the first step and give your brain the care and attention it deserves. Your potential is limitless. Utilize it and let your brain shine in all its glory.